Right, so we're back, and three pieces. I jumped ahead a little bit, put this center brace in the Bombay. Bombay fits really nicely together. The rear tail wheel fits nicely, glues up well. This plastic is reacting really well to the Tamiya quick setting, extra thin. So I should be using that for the build as it goes along. So this Bombay fits in nicely there. I'm not going to glue it in just yet. I'm going to try, I'll tell you what we'll do. Because we've got to see how it goes together with the other fuselage half. So let's get the other fuselage half off. Now what I'm tempted to do, which is how I usually build aircraft, is I will just build as much sub-assemblies as I can before I start painting. So we've already got the cockpit, we've got the Bombay, and we'll get the fuselages sorted out. Looking at the instructions, we can go ahead and build the wings, because there's nothing really on the inside except the landing lights. Right, so let's just test fit this and see how it all goes together first. This is actually going to be a good size of model when it's finished. Right, fits nicely together. The seam line doesn't look too bad. It's going to take a bit of work, but you tell me an aircraft that doesn't take a bit of work. Right, so if we put that in there, and then slightest knock and it falls apart. Right, put that in there. That's in nicely. It seats nicely. Put the other fuselage half over the top. Yeah, I actually think we are actually going to have to glue it to half of the fuselage, which is no trouble. So just set some glue in. Right, slide it in. Make sure it's located both ends. Push and hold. That extra thing is going off so quickly, and it's a really nice bond. Okay, make sure the angles are good. I'll just refrain from putting any in here until we offer it up, now that it'll stay in place. Offer it up to see how it fits. Oh, well, there's nothing wrong with that, is there? Look at that. That's a beautiful fit. Excellent. Well, I'm happy with that. So what we'll do is we'll just quickly run a little bit of glue. We'll bond it to the side of the fuselage. That will make this nice and rigid. Excellent, ready to go. It'll be interesting to see how this fits as well. So that pops in there. Fits nicely. And then if we take the second half of the fuselage, we can drop that on top. All lines up really well. A simple click, push together and click, and there we go. We can see. So we'll see a little bit, but I honestly don't think we're going to see much of the instrument panel. So we will give it a good go, though. We'll do the best, but that's come together nicely, and it's going to be it's going to be a good size of model. Right, so let's set that aside, because we've agreed we're going to paint that later. And let's look at the wings, which is the next step. So we've done the Bombay Part 3. There's the main wing spar and a bit of glazing to go in, but we can do that when we're ready to bring the sides together. Although we'll need to paint the top of the Bombay, which is a good reason why we glue it in, because we'll see it through the back of the rear cockpit bulkhead. So the next job is part 4, and that is both the left and right wings. So we'll just get them off the sprue. Excuse my very squeaky chair. I'm so going to have to do something with that. So parts 23 and 25 go together, and 24 and 22 go together, and as it happens, that's how they are spaced on the sprue. So again, they're quite large sprue attachment points, so we want to be careful how we take it off, because we don't want to damage the leading edge of the wing. It's really, really nice plastic. Really, really nice plastic. It reminds me an awful lot of Academy. And maybe that's just a coincidence. Right, there we go. So you can see here we've got quite a large attachment point on the leading edge of the wings. Just move out there so it doesn't confuse the picture too much. There we go. Yeah, we've got quite a large attachment point. So there's one or two ways of doing this. We could go in with the nippers. We might risk damaging it because there's more plastic now we took off with the fuselage. Or we could just go in with a razor saw. Being careful to make sure we don't cut into the wing, and then once we've got it mostly done, we can break it away and trim. Yeah, there's still a bit of damage there. I don't know if it would be any better if I went in with the nippers. Trim it up with a scalpel. Oh, and that's all gone. That's nice. A little bit of file. You don't need to file too much because we are going to sand this edge when it all gets glued together. So same again. There we go. Doesn't take much to cut off. And I'm tempted just to leave that in place, and we'll deal with it when we sand the joint. So same again here. It's cutting through very quickly with a razor saw. And it's a reasonably clean, accurate cut. So this is a JLC razor saw. And you can pick up these quite easily off of eBay. And quite a lot of the model retailers do stock them. A well worth investment. Little clean with the file. Excellent. Right. Now these ones are more of the same. So just go in there. And it's not taking many cuts before it's through. But it's a less aggressive way of. In fact, we'll just use these nippers here, we'll see. Yeah. 6 2/3. Right, so let's have a quick dry fit. Got really nice, if you look here, we've got really nice large locating pins as well. So it's going to should be a positive fit, and it is a positive fit. Look at that. That's really rather nice. You can see where we've cut the sprue attachment points off the wing. They'll clean up nicely with the whole wing joint together, and the trailing edge isn't too thick. Yeah, I'm happy enough with that. Now there is a landing light to put in here. So get the glazing. So you've got parts 138 and 137, and for this wing it's parts 137, which is this one here. So just nip that off. And again, that will just set in nicely with a bit of extra thin. You must remember to do these, otherwise you'll have to possibly use the white glue technique for filling in the hole. Actually sits nice and flush. So we will have to remember to mask that up when we paint it so we don't paint over it. And a simple dab of quick set. Don't touch it, don't press it, just put the glue in and leave it. What we do need to do is we need to back it in silver, and I have got some I've got here some Tamiya Chrome X11. So if I get the other wings, and we'll put that light in there, we'll paint them both at the same time. I'll just do this off camera because you see me do it a couple times before, and it'll be quicker doing it where I can see. Okay, so there's the lower wing we're needing. We need that landing like there. Set the glaze on the side. Okay. Just clicks in. Another nice fit. And a little dab of extra thin. Make sure it's nice and flush, which it is. Right, painting time. Right, what we need is a brush, which I just have enough here. Get the paint a good shake. And then we just take some off the lid. This pot I've been using on other builds, so it's already thinned with Tamiya X28. Turn that over, there we go, we've got a nice glazed light look. So, same again here. Fill that all in. Simple. I have built wings like this before and forgotten to put the lights in, and it is a pain in the extremities to rectify that fault. I'll just quickly clean this brush. Right, back to assemblies. So this upper goes with this lower now. What I'm thinking to do here is I'm thinking to use a combination of extra thin and Revell contactor that's with a needle applicator, just to give a bit extra strength on these joints. And Revell contactor with a needle applicator is really rather nice to work with. You don't need to put much pressure. It flows really nicely. It stays liquid for long enough. It's got a little bit of gap filling properties, but it also reacts really well to Tamiya Extra Thin, and the Tamiya Extra Thin helps it flow better. I actually think it helps it set a little better as well. So we'll run all the way along the edge, hold the wing in the middle, and then we can run down here. There. And it's got a nice little flat spot on it, so it naturally lays up the way. Right, so glue on, just align the wing, and then with all the locating holes fully aligned, just gentle pressure along the join and pinch at the edge, not in the middle, because if you pinch in the middle, so you squish the wing open, so you want to pinch in the edge. That's come together really rather nicely. Be careful you don't get into contact with any glue that exudes from the edge. And then you can manipulate the wing so it marries up nicely. You might need to use a peg or two on the front side, but what we can do is with the Extra Thin, now that we're happy that we've got the wing in, we can just paint that down, being careful not to touch any areas where the glue runs to. So just touch and run that along the seam. And then once we've done that, we can then come in and press and hold. And you see that is helping to activate that glue. It's biting to the plastic. It's very smooth plastic, and I've got very dry hands, so it tends to slip out of my hands a little. Gentle push. Rear trailing edge. Put some along there. And this glue by its nature will naturally wick into any areas that haven't been glued. And then when you quick press, it's almost an instant grab and bond. This plastic is reacting very, very well to this glue. Very well indeed. Bit of a bigger gap there so we get the brush through it. And then hold. That's it. Bonded. A little bit of a fingerprint there, but it's not too bad. Right, that's one wing done, so let's get the second one done. Same again. Now, I notice I haven't trimmed off the sprue gates, but that wing will still go together okay with them in place. So same as before, I'll line it up and then work along the edge, pinning it together, work along the trailing edge, gentle squeezing. It's bonding up quite nicely. Now we're going to come in and we'll just run a little bit of extra thin along that joint, checking that the panel lines are married up. So any fine gaps, the extra thin will find them, will penetrate, and will activate any glue or bond the surface itself. Same on the trailing edge. And then just a gentle pinch right on the edge. And we're happy with that. Excellent. Right, take those sprue attachment points off. So you can do that now. So if we look at the fuselage, there is a slight recess for the wings to go into. If we look at the wing joint, it's reasonably flat, but there is a seam line here, so we will need to get that filed down. Again, if you look at the file going across the edge, it is really rather flat. That file will strip off that high point, no bother at all. We want to be careful we don't take anything off these edges in case it alters the wing profile and creates a gap needlessly. But there's the wings. Right, from the wings we're then moving on to build up the tail assembly, sub-assembly. So we'll go on to that next. What I will do is I'll pause the video a moment and I'll go and cut all the parts off, and then we'll come back and assemble it.